Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 2, Daksa curses Lord Shiva, text 23 and 24. Verse 23 doesn't have any purport, so I will read it through. Buddhya parabhidhyayinya vismrtatma-gatih pasuh stri-kamah atitaram dakso basta-mukho cirat. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Daksa has accepted the body as all in all. Therefore, since he has forgotten the visnu-pada or visnu-gati and is attached to sex life only, within a short time he'll have the face of a goat. What a curse, huh? 23, which has been written on the board. Vidya-buddhir, avidyayam, karmamayyam, asau, jadah, samsarantv. I'm sorry, it will be samsarantu. Iha, ye, camum, anu, sarvavamaninam. Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantv je camum, anu sarvavamaninam. Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantv je camum, anu sarvavamaninam. Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantv je camum, anu sarvavamaninam.
Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantu je camum, anu sarvavamaninam. Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantu je camum, anu sarvavamaninam. Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantv je camum, anu sarvavamaninam.
Vidya-buddhir avidyayam, karmamayyam asau, jadah, samsarantv je camum, anu sarvavamaninam.
vidya-buddhir vidyayam
karmamayyam asau jadah
karmamayyam asau jadah
samsarantv ye camum anu sarvavamaninam vidya-buddhir vidyayam karmamayyam asau jadah samsarantv ye camum anu sarvavamaninam
Mataji's.
vidya-buddhir avidyayam
vidya-buddhir vidyayam
karmamayyam asau jadah
karmamayyam asau jadah
samsarantv ye camum anu sarvavamaninam vidya-buddhir vidyayam
vidya-buddhir vidyayam
karmamayyam asau jadah samsarantv ye camum anu sarvavamaninam
Vidya-buddhi, materialistic education and intelligence. Avidyayam, in nations. Karmamayyam, formed of fruitive activities. Asau, he, Daksa. Jadah, dal. Samsarantu, let them take birth again and again. Iha, here in this world. Ye, who, cha, and amum, daksa, anu, following, sarva, Shiva, avamaninam, insulting. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are nascently involved in fruitive activities. Such men have purposely insulted Lord Shiva. May they continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death. Please repeat after me. Those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are nascently involved in fruitive activities. Such men have purposely insulted Lord Shiva. May they continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death. The repeated birth and death is called samsara. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The three curses mentioned above are sufficient to make one as dull as stone, void of spiritual knowledge and preoccupied with materialistic education, which is nations. After uttering these curses, Nandishwar then cursed the Brahmanas to continue in the cycle of birth and death because of their supporting Daksa in blaspheming Lord Shiva. So, Lord Shiva was insulted by Daksa. Daksa cursed Lord Shiva in various ways. Therefore, Nandishwar, Lord Shiva's loyal devotee, loyal follower, and he also is the carrier of Lord Shiva, Nandi. So Nandi is now cursing Daksa. And in the purport, Prabhupada said that these three curses, what are those three curses? The first curse was that, pretentiously religious householder life, in which one is attracted to material happiness and thus also attracted to the superficial explanation of the Vedas, robs one of all intelligence and attaches one to fruitive activities as all in all. So this is one curse, or this is one materialistic, obvious materialistic attitude. Pious, they are following the Vedic injunctions, but what is their goal? They are attracted by the instructions of the Vedas, but this part of the Vedic instructions, which has been described in Karma Kanda, has been described as jamimang pushpitang vacha, flowery words. Why flowery? Because it tells about materialistic enjoyment. Do this and you will get that, and so forth. Perform this sacrifice, you will become the king of this planet. Perform that sacrifice, you will become the king of heavenly planet. Perform so many sacrifices, you will be elevated to Brahma Sattaloka. So isn't it very alluring? Come, get a job, you'll get so much money. This is also an extension of that mentality. Jamimang pushpitang vacha, flowery words. You get this. In the newspapers, there is an appointment column, right? CEO, needed a CEO. These are the qualifications. Before that, the allurements from the universities. Join Harvard University, you will get these benefits. Join Princeton, you'll get these benefits. And join IIT, you'll get these benefits. That is, at the end of your studies, you'll get a good job. These are the allurements. Pushpitang vacha, flowery words. But is there any enjoyment in this material nature that we discussed quite extensively yesterday? If this is a prison house, and if this body is an instrument to receive pain, where is the possibility of enjoyment? Can a prisoner enjoy in the prison house? But in the prison house, if there is a advertisement, get promoted to first class prison, there will be lots of enjoyment. You'll get a Dunlop mattress on your bed. You'll get a soft pillow. You'll get an easy chair. And for breakfast, you'll get toast and jam. And on Sundays, you'll get a slice of cheese. So these are the benefits of being promoted to first class prison. In the prison house, so what's the point in getting to first class prison? What is the intelligent thing to do? Gaura?
To surrender unto the king.
Very good, to surrender unto the king or king of kings? Okay. Surrender to, you're a prisoner. You have been put into prison because you didn't accept the law of the king. You broke the law. King gave the law and you broke the law. That means you have defied the authority of the king. Therefore, you are put into prison. The king said, drive the car from on the left side of the road. And you said, no, I'll drive on the right side. then what is actually happening? Law is given by the king. To break the law means to defy the authority of the king. The king said, when the red light shows, the car should stop. You say, why should I stop at red light? I'll drive through red light. Then the police comes and catches you and puts you in the prison. Right? The king says that never covet others' properties. Don't greed upon ma gridha kasya siddhanam. Whatever is allotted to you, you be happy with that. And never greed upon others. Never covet others' property. Now you think, oh, why should he have so much money? And you try to take that money from him. That is breaking the law. It is his money. But you are taking the money, you are stealing. The result is, you end up in the prison. So in this way, in the prison house of material nature, we all are subjected to different types of punishments in this prison house simply because we have disregarded the law of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. What is the law given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Man mana bhavo, mad bhakto, mad jaji, mang namaskuru. And if you think, no, why should I think of Krishna? I'll think of Sunil Gavaskar. Or I'll think of Amitabh Bachchan. Or I'll think of some other beautiful faces. So Krishna says, Man mana bhavo. I gave you the mind simply to think of me, but you are misutilizing that mind for thinking about somebody else or something else. So that is defying Krishna's instruction. Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. So these are the laws given by Krishna. Now if you defy that, that means you are not accepting Krishna's authority. And the result is imprisonment in the material nature. Krishna says, Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. And you think, why Krishna? Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate. I am the source of everything. I am the origin of everything. And everything is revolving around me. Isn't that what is happening in the material nature? Everyone is thinking that the whole creation is revolving around him or her. And the result is punishment. We suffer in this material nature, being subjected to threefold miseries. Different types of miseries. Miseries caused by our body. Miseries caused by our mind. And this also we discussed previously. Misery is caused by this body. The body is actually meant to receive pain. Take any part of your body and see how many ways you can inflict pain on this body, on that part. But now you consider in how many ways you can give pleasure to that part of the body. In how many ways you can give pleasure to your little finger. Can you think of some ways of giving pleasure? But in how many ways you can give pain to your finger?
We can cut the finger.
Okay, one.
Pinching the finger.
Pinching the finger.
Cut the finger.
Okay. So there's so many ways you can give pain to this finger, but in how many ways you can give pleasure to the finger? And mind you, that applies to every single part of the body. So this is the situation. this body is an instrument to receive pain. And this material nature is a place of suffering. Then the second curse was so first is materialistic people, they will accept that enjoyment in the material nature is the goal of life. And whatever opportunities and prospects are there, that is desirable. The second curse that Daksa received was Daksa has accepted the body as all in all. Therefore, since he has forgotten the visnu-pada or visnu-gati and is attached to sex life only, within a short time he will have the face of a goat. So there are two ways, Krishna or Maya. There is no na anna pantha ayanaya vidyate. There is no other way. There is only two other ways. Either you go for Krishna or you go for Maya. If you go for Krishna, then there is no room for Maya. But if you go for Maya, then there is no possibility of becoming Krishna conscious. This also has been pointed very nicely, that our consciousness is like one ray of light. On how many points a ray of light can fall? Say it loudly. One. Can the ray of light fall in 2 points? No. So that's what our consciousness is like. It can, if it is projected onto Maya, it will be in Maya. But if it can be projected onto Krishna, then it will be in Krishna. So is there any third way? No, either Krishna or Maya. Alright? And when our consciousness is with Krishna, then we are in our constitutional position. We are in our swarup. You know what is the meaning of the constitutional position? Constitutional position means what you actually are. Who are you? Krishna Nityadas. Very good. So Krishna Nityadas is our actual identity. We are eternal servant of Krishna. Now what should the servant do? Serve the master. So if one is a servant, then what should he do? He should serve the master. If he stops to serve the master, then what happens? Then is he a servant? Then what happens when he stops to serve Krishna? Then he falls into Maya. Maya means illusion. My illusion means, what is the meaning of illusion?
Being in imaginary things, in not being in reality.
Okay, very good. Illusion means not being in reality. Illusion means thinking something that it is actually not. So illusion means I am the Lord and Master. Actually who I am, who we all are. We all are servants of Krishna. And illusion means to think that we are something other than servant of Krishna. That's why the instruction is sarvavamaninam vinirmuktam. Upadhi means designation. What is our real designation? Krishna Nityadas is our real designation. To think that you are something other than Krishna Nityadas is illusion. And what to speak of, thinking that you are the Lord and Master. And that's what happens in the material nature. Living entity thinks that he is the Lord and Master. He is the supreme enjoyer. Isn't everyone in the material nature trying to enjoy? Thinking that everything belongs to him, or at least something that belongs to him is for his enjoyment. But the reality is, does anything belong to us? No. Ishavashyam idam sarvam. Everything belongs to Krishna. Everything belongs to Krishna. So, if everything belongs to Krishna, then who is the real enjoyer? Krishna is the real enjoyer. And what is our situation? To provide for Krishna's enjoyment. So when we forget that we are the servants of Krishna, and we begin to think that we are the Lord and Master of everything around us, then what happens? We become illusion. Illusion means no real understanding. No real understanding means no brain. Right? And no brain means a goat. So that's what his curse was. If that is your mentality, then look at your head. That's not the head of a human being. That is the head of a goat. And he said that soon it will happen. That means although you're looking like Daksa, but soon you won't look like yourself anymore. You'll get an appropriate head. You get the point? To think that you are the enjoyer is no brains. And no brain means goat. And what is our real identity? We are the servants of Krishna. And then what happens? When you think that you are a servant of Krishna, then you get the head of a cowherd boy or a cowherd girl. That is our constitutional position, that is our actual identity. And the third curse was, those who have become as dull as matter by cultivating materialistic education and intelligence are nascently involved in fruitive activities. Such men have purposely insulted Lord Shiva. May they continue in the cycle of repeated birth and death. So that's why in the purport Prabhupada says these curses, 3 curses, are good enough to completely finish one. When you are trying to enjoy in the material nature, then what happens? You keep on coming back to this material nature, life after life. Cycle of birth and death. Now, well, that is what a materialistic person feels like. But a devotee, what is a devotee's situation? Devotee also doesn't mind coming back again and again. Why? Because the devotee knows, even if he comes, what he will do. Like for example, a devotee will simply serve Krishna. So when you are serving Krishna, does it matter where you are? Just like we see the devotees, when they are in India, what they are doing? What they are doing? Devotees in India? Devotees in India, what they are doing? So much. Why do you have to think so much? Serving the Lord. When the devotees are in America, what they are doing? When the devotees are in Australia, what they are doing? When the devotees are in heavenly planet, what they will do? When the devotees go to hellish planet, what they will do? So, does it matter where devotee is? Because he is simply engaged in serving Krishna. And when you are serving Krishna, where are you? When a devotee serves Krishna, where is he? He is in the spiritual sky. So when you are in the spiritual sky, does it really matter where geographically you are? In this respect, we can also consider one example. Like think of a very poor country in this world. Which country is very poor? Huh? Which country? Okay, Bhutan or Bangladesh. And now, does Bangladesh have an US consulate? US embassy? In Dhaka, there is a US embassy. So when the US ambassador is sent to Bangladesh, when the US government sends an ambassador to Bangladesh, does he become a poor person? Why not? Because although he is in Bangladesh, but he is not a citizen of Bangladesh. He is a man of America. Incidentally, Bangladesh is not such a poor country. Right, yeah. Some of the African countries are. Bangladesh, Somalia, yeah. So these are very poor countries. Bangladesh is a very opulent, naturally it's very opulent country. Very opulent country. There is a lot of fruits, vegetables. They may not have so many foreign cars. Still then that also they have. They have a lot of foreign cars. More than India. And atmosphere is very beautiful. Sometimes when I go to Bangladesh, you can come with me. And preaching is wonderful. Sometimes we get 20,000 people to attend a program. We had a program in Surat, 5,000 students came, and everybody thought that was such a grand program. And I was telling them, you haven't seen Bangladesh. Anyway, the point is, whether in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Bhutan or Somalia or Ethiopia, when an US ambassador goes there, he doesn't become poor. Rather, US government gives him all the facilities. US government sets up his residence, sets up his office. So similarly, when one is serving Krishna, wherever he may be, he is Krishna's man. Therefore, he is not affected by the surrounding condition. So in that way, the materialistic people's attitude and a devotee's attitude externally may appear to be alike, but they are diametrically opposed. Like, just as sunrise and sunset. Sunrise and sunset. Don't they look exactly alike? When the sun is setting or when the sun is rising. They look exactly alike, but they are completely opposite. Therefore, a materialistic person and a devotee of the Lord may appear to be alike, but they are diametrically opposed. A materialistic person goes to market to buy vegetables. A devotee also goes to market to buy vegetables. A materialistic person, he makes very nice arrangement to cook. The devotees also make very nice arrangement to cook. But what is the difference? A devotee is doing it for Krishna and a materialistic person is doing it for himself. And in the middle there is one group of people who says, neti, neti. No, I don't want this, I don't want this. They're the false renunciates. What can you renounce? There is no need to reject anything, but we have to recognize who it actually belongs to. In that respect, Prabhupada gives an example. There are three types of people. One person sees the bag of gold in the middle of the street. He picks up the bag and walks away. He is a thief. There is another person who sees the bag of gold lying on the street and he says, oh, it doesn't belong to me, I won't touch it. Walks away. And another person, he sees the bag of gold lying on the street, he picks it up, opens the bag, finds out who the gold belongs to and gives it back to him. Out of these three types of people, who is the best? Now see, both picked up the bag. The thief also picked up the bag and this honest person also picked up the bag. But their attitude was different. The thief thought, I will use it for myself, and the honest person thought, I'll give it back to the owner of this gold. So, Isha Vashyam idam sarvam, everything belongs to Krishna. So, who should everything be used for? Krishna. And when we do that, then Krishna becomes pleased. And Krishna says, oh, my servant is trying to serve me so nicely. Let me give him all facilities. When is the next feast? Okay, Leela Purushottam will organize it. So from this we learn how to utilize our facilities, how to lead our life. Does anybody want to become a thief? Does anybody want to become a so-called honest person? Then who do you want to become? Who is going to find out whom does the gold belong to and give it back to him? Right? That means who does everything belong to? So who are you going to give everything to? And that way, who are you going to become? Servants of Krishna. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Jamuna Priya. Oh yeah. Thank you.
The curse that Daksha's face will be coming in the face of the goat. Can we take that more generally, that except for Krishna consciousness, it's not possible to avoid going down to those lower realms of material nature, animal life.
They don't have to go down, they're already there.
But we can't.
Right, no real elevation.
We won't be able to just remain human beings. And
no, that's true. Yeah, cycle of birth.
For Krishna.
Yeah.
Something will happen and we'll.
Yeah, right, that's true. That's true. Like even if somebody may be elevated to the higher planetary system, then again he'll fall down. Like, there is like inevitable fallen condition without accepting the shelter of Krishna's lotus feet. Thank you, Vatugopal Prabhu. Yes.
I had one question from yesterday, and then you mentioned about it today as well. Aren't you explained yesterday that how those who are karma-kandis are not attached to the fruitive activity side of the Vedas, how in the heavenly planets they get so much enjoyment and there's no end of it. It doesn't end in suffering like a hangover. So I'm just thinking, I haven't formed my question properly, but I was just wanted to hear a bit more about this, Maharaj, that what's going to be their destination eventually, because there's so much pleasure there, they will always be engrossed in that. And then when the time is up, they come down. And then they get again into that sort of activities, fruitive activities, and then they'll go up, so they'll just be stuck within this.
Or they'll keep on rotating in the cycle of, sometimes like a Ferris wheel. Is that the Ferris wheel? Goes up and down? No, that is merry-go-round. That goes this way.
Yeah, the first one.
Ferris wheel goes up and down. Yeah. So it's like that. Sometimes up, sometimes down. And yeah, like there is no way of getting out. Just as Gopal Prabhu pointed out, without becoming Krishna conscious, there is no way we can get out of this miserable condition that living entities are in this material nature. See how fortunate we are? We found the secret. Yeah, what's it?
I just wanted to ask a bit further then. As devotees, our duty is to preach. Krishna wants us to do that. So how to get through to such people?
You can take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. You can give them Krishna consciousness, but ultimately it's up to them to accept or not. On our part, we try our best to give. We try our best. That we have to do. But eventually, it's up to them to decide whether they would accept it. I mean, what to speak of them, who don't accept. There have been so many individuals, those who, in spite of coming to Krishna consciousness, in spite of joining ISKCON, have drifted away. Can you imagine how unfortunate they are? And some even became inimical towards ISKCON. Yes.
Nandishwar's curse to Daksa, from one point of view, it appears very appropriate for the kind of attitude that Daksha has. But also, Srila Prabhupada says that it was not still appropriate in one of the purports that still he shouldn't have been so rash.
Yeah, it's better. Devotees are meant to be peaceful internally. But then again, you can't really avoid it. If somebody insults a Vaishnava, he tolerates it. But when some other Vaishnava is insulted, he cannot tolerate that. And that's why Nandishwar is reacting, and that's why Nandishwar's action is justified. His master has been insulted. How can he remain quiet? Yes.
I heard that Srila Prabhupada once said, like, if you just follow for regular principles and will chant 16 rounds, then I will take you back to Godhead. But there, my question is, like, what kind of chanting is expected? Like, if even in the offensive chanting, one will be visible, or like, what is the meaning of exactly following those four regular principles and chanting?
Yeah, offenseless chanting, pure chanting is desirable. But even if you can't chant pure rounds, chant 16 rounds. Okay? And Prabhupada will be merciful to you.
And I have one more question. Like, as you mentioned, like, Vaishnava is expected to even exhibit the principles of tolerance. But sometimes we see that when we tolerate too much, then at the same time we are allowing other devotees to suppress us, and that way we are sometimes it is difficult to understand like how to apply the principles of tolerance.
Tolerate as much as possible, and when it reaches the optimum point, then you tell him, Prabhu, ab bas karo. This is from Brajaraj Sutta from Holland. The verse mentions dull as matter. How are we to understand matter when discussing in the scientific field where apparently everything is alive, in the sense that activity is always occurring on the microscopic or atomic level? Thank you, Brajaraj Sutta. I'm sorry, Brajaraj Sutta is from actually America. I'm sorry, I mistook Brajaraj Sutta, you to be Brajendra Sutta. Yeah, I just didn't see the name. Brajaraj Sutta is from America. So I'll read the question again. The verse mentions dull as matter. How are we to understand matter when discussing in the scientific field where apparently everything is alive, in the sense that activity is always occurring on the microscopic or atomic level? Yeah, there that in the material nature, even we can see that in a microscopic level also, or in microorganisms, there are life, there is consciousness. But here we have to understand that it is because of the presence of the soul. So becoming dull as matter means that individual, that soul, will not have consciousness, will become devoid of consciousness, just as matter doesn't have consciousness. See, there are two things, inert matter and living beings. Some matter is inert. Matter by nature is inert. Matter doesn't have consciousness. But whenever we see consciousness, no matter how feeble, we have to understand that there is a presence of the soul. It's because of the soul that the matter has become conscious. That is, the soul has assumed the body of a matter. And that body, because of the presence of the soul, has become conscious. Otherwise, matter is devoid of life. Matter is devoid of consciousness. Matter is inert. We can consider the Lord glances towards the material nature. Then only the material nature becomes active, alive, manifest. Otherwise, matter is unmanifest. Matter by itself doesn't have any comprehension, doesn't have any perception. So, through the glance of the Lord, the living entities are projected into the material nature. And the material nature becomes alive. So when it says become a living entity, actually here what the curse is, Daksa will become dull as matter. That means he won't have any consciousness. He'll become like a tree, like the curse that Nalakuber and Manigriv got from Narad Muni. Become dull as a tree. No more consciousness. Standing naked, no consciousness. Just as they became dull by drinking, becoming intoxicated, they became so dull that they didn't have any sense of modesty, they didn't have any sense of decency. They were standing in front of an exalted personality like Narad Muni, stark naked, and no shame. So that is the meaning of dull as matter, no consciousness. Brajendra Sutta, Brajaraj Sutta, does it answer your question? Thank you.